name's Chris Baker with Baker DMM. This is our video digest newsletter. The topic of today's newsletter is going to be Thank You, Lord. And before we jump into our discussion, I want to read you some information. It's actually from a recent research study by Merrill Lynch that was conducted in the summer of 2017, where I believe they questioned about 2,000 different people around the country. And it states that financial caregivers need help. The message is clear. Financial coordinators need help, and 66% of caregivers feel they could benefit from financial advice. And additionally, when asked what might help them in their financial caregiving roles, 55% of financial caregivers would like banking alerts for unusual purchases from their recipient's account. Additionally, they mentioned there's a lack of preparation among financial coordinators, in addition to lack of training and support. Financial coordinators are in need of financial advice, support, and resources in order to fulfill their responsibilities of their role. And this comes from, it's called The Journey of Caregiving, Honor, Responsibility, and Financial Complexity. And again, this report was produced by Merrill Lynch, and they did it in partnership with a company, a nonprofit called AgeWave. And that introduction really is to an email I wanted to discuss from you that I received from one of our clients. And I think really illustrates a good picture of the problem which we just identified through the Merrill Lynch and AgeWave study. And I'm going to kind of pick apart this email so we can kind of talk through some of the ways where we've been able to help our clients and their loved ones, and their families and friends, and kind of cutting through the chaos and the mess and being that resource, being that guidance, being that company that can help these financial coordinators or these financial caregivers when they might not have, be equipped with the right tools and resources and knowledge to help take care of their loved ones. And so I'm going to jump into this email, and I'm going to start with the most recent email, and it's actually from my client's boyfriend, and he mentions, "Perfect, Chris. I can now get them changed, and I'm very happy to expect no surprise notices from the utilities. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Lord. I will get you and so-and-so, who's a different person, is another power of attorney. Like, I'm actually power of attorney for our client, and also one of their good family friends is power of attorney. So he says, I will get you and so-and-so's any information changed. And then he says, thank you, Chris, and then signs off. And the email before that, actually, or two emails before that, he had written me an email about just some different bills that that had fallen through the cracks. And it's a really long story that I'll cover in another video. But bottom line is, we had a client who we were introduced early in 2017. She suffered from some illnesses in 2016. Her daughter became emergency conservator for the mom. And really, just unfortunately, the mom's finances were kind of chaotic before the daughter got involved. But then when the daughter got involved, everything just went real south real quick. And it went from a bad situation to a much, much more worse situation. And there was no accountability. There was no reporting. No one knew where any money was going. No one was organized. No one was tracking. No one was monitoring these accounts. And basically what happens when that happens, in the end, a lot of money goes into a checking account or savings account. And then, unfortunately, a lot of money goes out. And there's a lot of misspending in all sorts of different ways, whether it's to providers, vendors, or actually or even outright theft, where someone is abusing a senior or someone that needs assistance. And when I say abusing, that means financially, they're spending their money, that person's money, without their authorization. And so basically, by the time we got involved, our company and me, it was totally out of control. And no one, the elder care attorney who was working this case was just pulling their hair out because they didn't know what to do. And luckily, we had been connected. And one day we talked, and she said, look, we have the perfect case for you and your firm. And she kind of went into some details, and I said, yeah, that's exactly how we help people. We bring order to the chaos, and we can start tracking and reviewing and making sense of where all the money's going. And so we'd been working with this, we started with them in, I don't know, it was late February, March, and this email goes back in July. So we were, about 4 months into the relationship, 4 or 5 months. And so this gentleman wrote an email about some utilities, regarding the power bill, the watershed management bill, the cable bill, and a gas bill in particular. And in particular, some of the different areas that they talk about, that we covered were usernames, passwords, late payments, making sure proper access is given to the right people to get online to check the accounts, and then even covering some of the different repairs that have been done to different parts of the house. I believe that were for the water lines, piping that had been replaced. I think a gas line to help improve the function within the home. And the utility company should have given some credits for those repairs. And then just some other more administrative tasks, such as address changes and things like that. And it's important to note the reason, the woman that is our direct client, again, this is her boyfriend that she's been living with for almost 7 years, but she had become suffering from some mild cognitive impairment. She doesn't have Alzheimer's. She doesn't have dementia. She hasn't been diagnosed directly with anything, but she has had some physical health issues, and she's had some decreased financial capacity. And that's another video at another time. But as people age, just like our body can physically kind of slow down as we age, so can our mind. And in this particular case, she has diminished financial capacity. So, if you sat and had lunch with her, she could talk to you and look wonderful and beautiful and have a great conversation and be very pleasant. But when it gets to keeping up with a check register, a checkbook, managing all the passwords, getting online, monitoring financial accounts, she just has a really hard time doing that. And by the time we were involved, basically wasn't doing it. The boyfriend tried to get involved, and this gentleman, in a particular case, is in his 80s. And he suffered from some substance abuse issues, and regarding drinking, and he had some kind of intermittently would put together some good reporting, but he was not consistent, and so he had his own issues trying to keep up with the day-to-day finances. And then when you throw in the daughter, that's like the A-bomb that went off, and that just destroyed everything. And they had some issues when the boyfriend was helping the girlfriend, but then when the mom got involved, then it got really bad, and the daughter just totally, really made a terrible mess. And so we're helping them get organized, and we talked about changing passwords for the power account, receiving bills. The daughter had previously been getting bills sent to her home. Well, we finally had changed that, had the bills start going to our office, making sure that the account is all caught up and payments have been made. Making sure the right people can gain access. It looked like previously the daughter had set it up to where no one else could access the account without the daughter. And then this is a sad case as well, because when the mom was suffering from some health issues in 2016, the daughter actually had the emergency conservator written up, and when she did that, she also had a power of attorney that was written up that should have gone into place if the mom was totally incapacitated. I think it was a springing power of attorney. But when the daughter did that, she actually had the mom sign over the deeds to her homes. So, and this is still currently in process to get the deeds back into the mom's name. But right now, the daughter has the home's deeds in her name. And really, another unfortunate part about this is a lot of the mom's wealth is tied up in the home. So she's not very liquid right now. Much of her wealth is tied up in her real estate. And if she can't have access to that, whether it's a cash out refinance, a reverse mortgage, or even selling the home, it makes it very difficult for her to live. And now there are attorneys involved, and it's a big legal kind of mess at this point. But so with the Watershed, they had some late bills, they had some broken pipes that they had fixed, and they had talked to the Watershed, and they were supposed to get a credit for producing, making those repairs. And then they had a kind of a payment plan, but again, because of the billing, the daughters started getting all the bills, no one could access the accounts. It was just a big mess. And then we came in, we created new accounts, new username, passwords, got in, logged in, made sure the accounts, first made sure we got the payments up to speed, then make sure we started honoring the payment plans. Comcast bill, made sure that was paid. Constellation, which is a gas company, again, updating usernames and passwords, and really just trying to make sure that the right people can access the account. Making sure the bills are paid up. So once we get all that stuff, all that dust settled, And, at that point, you're getting more into maintenance mode, and then you can start monitoring these accounts, making sure that number one, your checking account, savings account, whatever accounts are being used to pay the bills, make sure those are funded. And then once you know you have the money, then you go to the accounts, you make sure the bills are being paid, and make sure that the accounts are current. They're not getting hit with late fees or overcharges. Make sure the utility companies and the mortgage companies and everybody else is getting paid, because typically, if not, then they start shutting off power, shutting off water, cable, internet, and then in this case, we even had the mortgage company threatening, to foreclose on the home because they had missed a couple. I think it was one payment and then two payments. And after two payments, the mortgage company just said, "Look, we're not dealing with this. You're going to lose the home if you don't get us a payment like immediately." And so we've come in there and we've really helped these people get everything back on track. Now here we are, going on, 8, 9, 10 months into the relationship, much more peaceful. The legal team is able to pursue the legal matters, hopefully get the homes back from the daughter, give them to the mom. And then at that point, then she'll be able to get some liquidity, get some cash, and then she'll really be in great shape, because then she'll be able to be more at peace and know that her bills are paid, know that she's got all of her belongings back, got her homes back. And she's got a team now, a team of people. In this particular case, it's us helping with the financial coordinating, the financial caregiving, making sure bills are paid, and holding everybody accountable. We're an independent third party. We're holding her accountable. We're holding the boyfriend accountable. The family, friends, they're involved. They've been wonderful and kind to this woman. And then of course we're being held accountable by producing information to them so they can review. And if they have questions, then they ask us. So it's everybody's holding each other accountable. And again, so going back to the initial statistics, the research study by Merrill Lynch and AgeWave, they've directly identified that people need help, and particularly now more than ever, as the population continues to age, more and more people are going to need this. And many times it's the children that become caregivers for these aging people, and they're underprepared. They don't have the right knowledge. They don't have the right tools many of the times. And that's why we're here, to be a resource, to be that coach, that counselor, to help be that advocate, to help these people get on the right track and make sure they're doing the right things. And then if not, even if they start to get on the right track and they know what they need to be doing, and maybe they're doing it, but they just don't have the time. They say, "Look, we were doing it, but it's just too much. I have my own job, my own business, my own family, and it would be nice to outsource this." And that's why they can do that with companies like Baker DMM or other companies that are similar to us and provide similar offerings. And that's what we do. And that's really the part of the solution, is to help these caregivers and help these people out there that are already overwhelmed, but to be a resource and to help either educate, coach them, guide them, and if not, we can actually do it for them. So if you found this video interesting or helpful, please feel free to share it on your social media channels. This could be your family, your friends, neighbors, or whoever you think might benefit from viewing this information. If you ever have a question you'd like for me to answer directly, go to our website, www.bakerdmm.com, scroll to the bottom, fill out the Contact Us form, write a few sentences about what your issue is, and we'll try to answer that in one of our newsletters. And if you'd ever like to get my help directly or personally, the quickest and easiest way is to go to our website. Click on, at the very top, you'll see our phone number. You also see a request an appointment button. And then if you scroll at the bottom, if you'd like to book a direct phone consulting session, just click on the PayPal and enter your information. And with any of these options, we'll be in touch with you in 24 to 48 hours to schedule an appointment. And until then, I will talk to you all soon.